Hey, BookTube, are you ready for some historical fiction? We've got it right here. Where else but the history shelf? Cue the intro. Just kidding, I don't have an intro slide. I barely have time to make videos, much less insert a fancy musical montage. But maybe someday I can hire someone in the graphic arts to make me a little nifty intro. As you can tell, my set is my office. As you can see, I've got dog beds in the back. I got Boomer passed out in that brown little bed over there. Hi, Boomer. I got books over here stacked on the floor. I got a mail. Yeah, it's a functional set. It's a functional feng shui kind of thing. No green screen. What you see is what you get. Anyway, hey, welcome to the channel. I'm just being silly. It's been a while since I made a video. I feel like it's been another week to 10 days maybe. So, woo, work's been crazy busy, and then my book reviewing on the side has been busy. Been reading up a storm. Trying to catch up on my social media posts with all my written reviews. Still working on that, but I'm getting better. I'm catching up. Today's video is brought to you by, no, kidding, historical fiction. This is our focus today. I know I've done a few of those videos before. I try to make videos where I separate out, the fiction and nonfiction. So, new history on the horizon, or some of my other videos that I just kind of label as new history arrivals. I like to, at least, for those of you who just want history, I don't want to mix it up too much so that, you're leaving the channel because you're just like, I don't care about fiction, or vice versa. So let me know if this format works for you. I want to make sure that I'm doing this right. Maybe some of you like a mix of fiction and history, straight nonfiction. But just for this purpose, I'm grouping them all together. Now, these are new and upcoming historical fiction titles. I've got a couple here that came out in January, but I'm just getting to them now because the beginning of the year for me was very chaotic. Things are calmer now. Woo! As calm as they can be in this world. How's your retirement fund looking, everybody? You ready for war with Iran? Hey, I didn't vote for him. All right, we're going to move on to historical fiction, and we'll save some of that other commentary for later. Yes. What should we start with, guys? I've got a huge stack, so we want to keep this video, even though I've heard from so many people that they love to clean their kitchen to my long videos or fall asleep. Love to hear what else. Maybe someone likes to change their oil, while they listen to my long videos. Let's get started. Well, this book, actually, I wanted to highlight it because the publisher was kind enough to send me a review copy. It sounds like a great read. I think it's already been out for a little bit, but we're just going to start with this one. This is The Girl from the Grand Hotel by Camille Aubray. Looks like probably a very popular book for book club reading. As you can see, there's a book club kit. Let's see here. Summer 1939, The Glittering Côte d'Azur. Oh gosh, I can't pronounce these. Côte d'Azur, okay, is having a particularly brilliant season as the world's wealthiest vacationers collide with Hollywood's illustrious movie stars for the first ever film festival on the French Riviera. Into this hothouse playground comes an American named Annabelle Faucon. Faucon. F-A-U-C-O-N. Faucon, okay. Having left a dead-end job and a broken heart back in New York, she's escaped to a summer stint at the fabulous Grand Hotel where her uncle is the manager. But when a major movie studio brings its flock of stars to stay at the hotel, Annabelle is handpicked to keep an eye on two of the mysterious arrivals, a screenwriter who's been in his cups and a renegade actor who keeps luring the studio's female star into his independent productions. The arrival of Nazi guests only intensifies the situation. Suddenly, well, like Elon Musk, Sorry. You can't tell me that gesture that he did was not mimicking a Nazi salute. That guy is a jackass. Okay, suddenly everyone is watching everybody else during this feverish last summer, before the outbreak of World War II. Faced with international spies who will stop at nothing to get what they want, Annabelle finds herself embroiled in murder, intrigue, and a race against the clock to disrupt a secret Nazi communication system. Inspired by true events and the histories of 3 great hotels on the Côte d'Azur, with appearances by such real-life luminaries as Marlene Dietrich, yes, F. Scott Fitzgerald, James Cagney, and Mae West, the girl from the Grand Hotel is a brilliant page-turner that is not to be missed. And this is from Blackstone Publishing, I should mention. Doesn't that sound great? I love when they include like real-life historical figures in these novels. That makes it fun. But only if the writer has like a certain flair that kind of catches that voice. I felt that about reading when I read the Wharton Plot by Mariah Fredericks, which was a great kind of Gilded Age mystery. Gosh, I don't know what Edith Wharton really sounded like in her private communications with her circle, but it was so witty, and so it seemed like her voice. So we'll see how they do in this one by Camille Aubrey, The Girl from the Grand Hotel. This one is available now. As you can see, this is a finished copy, so yay. I wanted to bring that to your attention. Now this book I'm really excited about, and I'm excited about, I got so many new things to say. There's things happening at this channel. Things are happening. I've got a new collaboration I'm embarking on with, I'm going to save that announcement for another time, but this might be a book that I might be reviewing for this new little organization that I'm going to be collaborating with. This is a book I'm going to pitch to them because I really do want to read it now and write a review. This book actually came out late January, so it's still in my time frame of historical fiction novels that I can review. This is Boudicca, Rebel, Warrior, Queen. It's a novel by P.C. Cast. And this is put out by William Morrow. Okay. We all know who Boudicca is, right? You guys should, if you know some of your ancient history. Or not ancient. Well, wait a second. Yeah, Rome. Yes, this is exactly what this is. Okay. Inspired by the attack on Roman Britain, led by the legendary warrior queen Boudicca, Cast weaves an epic and mythic retelling of one of history's most iconic female warriors. In Roman-occupied Britain, the Iceni tribe crowns an extraordinary new queen. Tall and flame-haired, Boudicca is devoted to Andraste, the Iceni's patron goddess, known for her raven familiar, her fierceness, and her swirling blue tattoos. Boudicca and her 2 young daughters will carry the tribe forward in dangerous times. Roman tax collector Catus Decianus, expecting weakness in a female ruler, launches a devastating attack on the tribe's stronghold. Boudicca and her family barely survive, but they refuse to bend the knee, as I refuse to bend the knee to our current. Okay, whatever. She calls a war council, bringing together her most trustworthy allies, including her childhood friend Ron, R-H-A-N, I don't like Ron, now a powerful druid seer, and the horse master Maldwin, whose devotion to Boudicca runs deeper than a warrior to a queen. Surprising the Romans, Boudicca's army sacked the wealthy cities of Camulodunum, Londinium, and Verulamium. You proud of me? I pronounced all those on the first try. As the snow falls, the Celts retreat to a hidden valley to plot their assault on the remaining Roman legions, determined to force the invaders from Britain. But in the jagged ice of winter, the druid Ron foresees a tragic end to Boudicca's rebellion. Although the defeat of the Iceni is spelled out in signs sent by the gods, Ron swears she will alter the future and save her queen. Now the battle-hardened Boudicca must put her trust in the powers of the other world to save her from both the traitors in her midst and from Rome's mighty legions. This epic, lusty, magic-filled romantasy. Oh, okay, I hope it's not too much romantasy. About British warrior Queen Boudicca is perfect for fans of Sue Lynn Tan and Madeline Miller. Now, I've heard of the latter. I have not heard of Sue Lynn Tan. But anyway, it's got a pretty decent blurb. Let's see, Library Journal, Publishers Weekly, and Book List all have good things to say about Boudicca by PC Cast. This is out and available right now from William Morrow, and I might be reviewing it soon. Let's see what else we got here. We got a variety of things here. Oh, David, you got any David Baldacci fans out there? You know what? I've never read David Baldacci, but he's got a novel that looks good. I enjoy World War II novels, especially like atmospheric ones that aren't always focused on espionage or battles and stuff. Even though I'm a big military history fan, and I enjoy military action thrillers and stuff like that, sometimes I like a World War II novel that's just more about like people. And I was happy to get this review copy from Grand Central Publishing. This book is, when is it coming out? Is it out right now? Ooh, I've got a whole letter from David Baldacci here. I'm not going to read it to you, but it gives some insights into this novel. Oh, yeah, this is coming out next week, guys, April 15th. I'm looking at finally I hung a calendar up on the wall next to my monitor so I can take a look-see. This is coming out next Tuesday. David Baldacci's Strangers in Time. It's a great cover. I like that cover. Let's see. 14-year-old Charlie Matters is up to no good, but for a very good reason. Without parents' peerage or merit, ducking school, but barred from actual work, he steals what he needs, living day to day, until he's old enough to enlist to fight the Germans. After barely surviving the worst of the Blitz, Charlie knows there's no telling when a falling bomb might end his life. 15-year-old Molly Wakefield has just returned to a nearly unrecognizable London. One of millions of people to have been evacuated to the countryside via Operation Pied Piper, Molly has been away from her parents, from her home, for nearly 5 years. Her return, however, is not the homecoming she'd hoped for, as she's confronted by a devastating reality. Neither of her parents are there, only her old nanny, Mrs. Pride. Without guardians and stability, Charlie and Molly find an unexpected ally and protector in Ignatius Oliver, and solace at his bookshop, the Book Keep, where, quote, a book a day keeps the bombs away, unquote. Mourning the recent loss of his wife, Ignatius forms a mutual kinship with both children, and over the course of the greatest armed conflict the world has ever seen, they rediscover the spirit of family each has lost. This speaks to me. Like I said, it's about people, it's about relationships and people living in wartime, people, strangers coming together. I like a good dose of this in my reading from time to time. This sounds like it's going to fit the bill. And again, I've never read David Baldacci, so why not start with this one and see if I like his work. Let's see here. But Charlie's escapades in the city have not gone unnoticed, and someone's been following Molly since she returned to London. And Ignatius is reeling from a secret his wife long kept from him while she was alive. Something so shocking it resulted in her death and his life being turned upside down. I think I'm guessing what it is, but I could be wrong. As German bombs continue to fall on the city, Charlie, Molly, and Ignatius learn that while the perils of war rage on, they're coming together and trusting one another may be the only way for them to survive. And that just sounds like a book that we all kind of need right now. All of us little peons in the world, all of us that don't have money and power and whatever, we're just trying to make it day to day for us, for our families, our friends. We have to come together. We just have to. And so I'm hoping, Jesus calls us to never despair and always, hope. I'm paraphrasing the entire New Testament, but God calls us to that and to be there for our neighbors and each other. So that's what I hew to. This sounds like a great read. I can't wait. So you guys, this is coming out next Tuesday, April 15th from Grand Central Publishing. And I'm really, might be another book that I might pitch for this other place, which I'll make another video where I kind of talk about some of the new things I'm doing and new ideas. I'm working on, in the background, a couple of author interviews. I have to do some research for one of them. That's going to take me a couple weeks at least. But then I might have another one lined up on a book I've already read and reviewed, so that could go pretty quickly. I enjoy this. It fills up my, my downtime, and I just love it. I love this channel. I love the work I do book reviewing. It's a blessing, and I know that not a lot of people have that. So I'm not trying to rub that in or nothing. I'm just trying to say that I love what I do, and you guys make it possible as well, that you keep coming back, and I just want to thank all of you. I'm not sure, I've got a variety of things coming out of me today. You're probably not used to this on this channel, but who knows? Maybe this channel can go a lot of different ways. Next, historical fiction. This one is coming out at the end of this month, April 29th, from Penguin. This is The Trader of Sherwood Forest. Did I just say... I'm in a good mood today. Sherwood Forest. I said that like Elmer Fudd. That's right. The Trader of Sherwood Forest by Amy S. Kaufman. So we'll go to a little bit... Robin Hood. We go to medieval England. Let's take a look here. It's an immersive, sultry, heart-pounding historical reimagining of the Robin Hood ballads, told through the piercing eyes of one of his spies. Okay, Jane Crow. Just checking to see if I have a pub sheet. Oh. Jane Crow is an ordinary peasant girl who never dreamed she would work for the infamous Lord of the Greenwood. But when she's forced out of her home, she has no choice but to turn to Robin Hood for help, and he makes her an irresistible offer. He needs a pair of eyes in king's houses. And that is capitalized. King's houses. So it must be a place or a castle or something, I don't know. And quiet, unassuming Jane, who has spent her whole life going unnoticed, will be the perfect spy. At first, Jane's work for Robin seems straightforward. She whispers to him about the nobles at king's houses and all their secrets, including the new sheriff of Nottingham, who would like nothing more than to see Robin Hood's head on a spike. But the more Jane is drawn into Robin's world, the more she's drawn to Robin himself. A man as charismatic as he is cunning, capable of plucking at her heart as easily as he nocks an arrow. As Robin's tricks grow increasingly dangerous and shockingly violent, Jane starts to suspect that her hero cares more about his own legacy than helping the common people. Who does that sound like? And that, despite his declarations of affection, he sees her as just another object to be stolen. When Robin's schemes implicate Jane in a brutal murder, she must decide, is she a prize to be won, a pawn to be used and discarded, or is she an equal player in the game between nobles and thieves? And Amy S. Kaufman knows of what she writes. She is a PhD in medieval literature, and she writes about medieval history, myths, and legends. And she is in Canada. I love Canada. Have I said that? There's nothing wrong with Canada. Canada's our friend. You know what? You can't expect me to not say something when the house is on fire. It's on fire. I might not be doing this in a week. We could all be gone in a blaze, baby. I sure hope we can turn things around. Because you know what? I'd like to do this for a few more years before I check out and go to my my next rendezvous in the next life. You have to laugh or else you cry. You have to scream or else it's insanity is what we're doing. So The Trader of Sherwood Forest, a novel, Amy S. Kaufman, is coming out April 29th from Penguin. Okay. This one is quite different. Now, this is from a small press, and this came out about less than a month ago. So this came out in March 11th, but I am really intrigued by this. Like, I really want to make time for this book because it's historical fiction about an ancient English people that I've always wanted to know more about. The Picts, Picts, the Picts. This is Upon the Corner of the Moon by Valerie Neiman. I believe I'm pronouncing that correctly. This is from Regal House Publishing. This is the uncorrected proof. I'm going to see if I might even cover this one as well. Yes. I'll see if I can get a finished copy too. At the dawn of the second millennium, two royal Scottish children are swept away from their families. Macbeth to the perilous royal court of his grandfather, and Gruash to the remnants of the goddess-worshipping Picts. Macbeth learns that blood bonds are easily severed, while Gruash finds her path only to lose it when she's summoned back to the patriarchal world. Each struggles with gaining and losing power, guided and misguided by prophecy and politics as their paths converge in a fiery bid for royal succession. Let me see here. Upon the Corner of the Moon separates literary legend from reality, immersing readers in a story about the real rulers who changed the face of Scotland. Some legends are true, and the truth sometimes becomes a legend or a lie. This novel masterfully dovetails the Macbeth legend and the truth without sacrificing either. That is fabulous. Valerie Neiman, she's won the 2022 Sir Walter Raleigh Award and was a Forward Indies Book of the Year finalist. And I do book reviews at Forward, so that's fantastic. And there's a picture of our author there, so you can see. It's not really focusing. But Upon the Corner of the Moon. And what is exciting about this, it's book one. She's going to continue. It says book one of Alba. So I'm excited. And you guys can find this, maybe ask for it at your library. You can find it wherever fine books are sold, but it's Regal House Publishing. Valerie Neiman, Upon the Corner of the Moon. Okay, this was a book I was hoping to get to for shelf awareness, but I wasn't able to. It came out in early February. I still want to read it. It's a work of historical fiction, but it's a work in translation, and I love translated novels. And this is Orome by Balu Gurma. Translated by David DeGusta and Mesfin Faleki Yurgu. So what do we got here? Let me see. I'm going to read from just the back because this makes more sense. A journalist finds himself embroiled in a disastrous government campaign in this landmark English translation of Ethiopia's most famous novel, an engrossing political thriller, and a compelling tale of love and war. December 1981, Ethiopia. Segey Hailemaryam, a well-known journalist for the state-run media, has just landed in Asmara. He is on assignment as the head of propaganda for the Red Star campaign, a massive effort by the Ethiopian government to end the Eritrean insurgency. I am saying a lot of interesting words right now. I'm gonna wet my whistle. There, amid the city's bars and coffee houses, buzzing with spies and government agents, he juggles the demands of his superiors while trying to reassure his fiancée back home that he's not straying with Asmara's famed beauties. As Segey falls in love with Asmara, and in spite of his promises with dazzling, enigmatic local woman Fiametta, his misgivings about the campaign grow. Segey confronts the horror of war when he is sent with an elite army unit to attack the insurgents' mountain stronghold. In the aftermath, he encounters betrayals that shake his faith in both the regime and human nature. Orome became a sensation when first published in 1983 and was swiftly banned for its frank depiction of the regime. I love it. The author vanished soon thereafter. I don't love that. The consensus is that he was murdered in retaliation for this book. That is horrible. Goes to show you what life is like under horrible regimes. You know, it happens across the world. A sweeping and timeless story about power and betrayal and love and war, the novel remains Gurma's masterpiece. I'm going to read this just so I can honor that man's memory. This one is out right now. It's from Soho Press. I should have said that. Soho Press. And it came out February 4th. Check it out. Okay. I'm not sure how many of you are... I've never read Georgia Hunter. Okay, but she has a new book coming out that I think is a sequel. Oh, it's actually out right now. It came out March 4th. Or maybe it's not. Maybe it's not a continuation. This is her second novel. The publisher was kind enough to send me her first novel because I hadn't read that either. So her first novel is We Were the Lucky Ones, which apparently has been made into a Hulu original series, which I don't have Hulu, and I've actually just canceled my Netflix because they're raising their rates. The price is going up on everything. So I've been canceling subscriptions, I've been canceling streaming services, and I'm not signing up to any new ones. But if you have Hulu, this was her first novel, which was set in the spring of 1939. Is this the same family? La 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 la. I don't think so. Okay, guys, I'm just going to read to you. This one came out in 2017. Okay. But now Boomer's up. She has this new book out called One Good Thing. And this one is set in 1940. Emilia Romagna. Lily and Este have been best friends since meeting at the University of Ferrara. When Este's son, Theo, is born, they become as close as sisters. Mussolini's racial laws have deemed them descendants of an inferior Jewish race, but life goes on until Germany invades northern Italy and their friends find themselves in occupied territory. Este, older and fiercely self-assured, convinces Lily to flee first to a villa in the countryside and to help hide a group of young war orphans, then to a convent in Florence where they pose as nuns and forge false identification papers for the underground. When disaster strikes at the convent, a critically wounded Este asks Lily to take a much bigger step, to go on the run with Theo, to protect him while Este can't. Terrified to travel on her own, Lily sets out on an epic journey south toward Allied territory, through Nazi-occupied villages and bombed-out cities, doing everything she can to keep Theo safe. It's a remarkable tale of friendship, motherhood, survival, and unexpected romance. It's a brilliant testament to the way that love for another person, even amidst darkness and uncertainty, can be reason to keep going. So that sounds like another kind of heartwarming tale. But yeah, let me know if you guys have read Georgia Hunter before, and if you like her. We Were the Lucky Ones. And then this one's out right now. Did I say it is from? It's a Viking book. It's an imprint. Pamela Dorman Books. The first one was a Penguin, but this one is a Viking. Okay, so I have those. Let me see. This one was an interesting book. This is from Thomas Nelson, publisher. This one came out on March 11th. Looks like a fun, feel-good read. This is The Filling Station, a novel by Vanessa Miller. Two sisters, one unassuming haven, endless opportunities for grace. Hi, Boomer. You settled back in. Thanks, bro. I thought I'd have to pause the video to go let him out. Can you tell the world hello? Hi, baby. He's like, isn't it my dinner time in like an hour? That's all he thinks about is food. Sisters Margaret and Evelyn Justice have grown up in the prosperous Greenwood district of Tulsa, Oklahoma, also known as Black Wall Street. In Greenwood, the Justice sisters had it all: movie theaters and entertainment venues, beauty shops and clothing stores, high-profile businesses like law offices, medical clinics, and banks. While Evelyn aspires to head off to the East Coast to study fashion design, recent college grad Margaret plans to settle in Greenwood, teaching at the local high school, and eventually raising a family. Oh, this may not be a cozy, happy read, because then the 1921 Tulsa Race Massacre upends everything they know and brings them unspeakable loss. Left with nothing but each other, the sisters flee along what would eventually become iconic Route 66 and stumble upon the Threat Filling Station, a safe haven and the only place where they can find a shred of hope in oppressive Jim Crow America. Boy, I was really way off on this. I didn't know. Okay. At the filling station, they are able to process their pain, fill up their souls, and find strength as they wrestle with a faith in God that has left them feeling abandoned. But they eventually realize that they can't hide out at the filling station when Greenwood needs to be rebuilt. The search for their father and their former life may not give them easy answers, but it can propel them and their community to a place where their voices are stronger, strong enough to build a future that honors the legacy of those who were lost. Shoot. Yes, this is listed under fiction, African American and Black, and also Christian, which I should have known because Thomas Nelson, the publisher, is a well-known Christian publishing house. So, The Filling Station, guys, by Vanessa Miller. This one's out right now. It does sound really good, though. Okay, let's change it up a little bit. This book... Oh, okay, so this one's not coming out until July. This is from Echo. It's a HarperCollins imprint, and this is A Bomb Placed Close to the Heart by Nishant Bhatia. Nishant Bhatia. Not too thick of a novel here. At a party near Stanford University's campus in 1917, Cora Trent, a graduate student raised in the rugged mining towns of the American West, meets Indra Mukherjee, an Indian revolutionary newly arrived in California. Indra is grieving the recent loss of a friend and unsure of the place violence has in the cause of national liberation, while Cora is seeking a new life that stays true to her aspirations as a writer and an idealist. They spark an instant connection, and their passionate romance deepens as they attend protests alongside anti-colonial dissidents and socialize with eccentric thinkers in Berkeley and Palo Alto. All the while, Indra awaits orders from a mysterious German spy master. Oh. Cora and Indra quickly marry, even as the United States is drawn into the conflict in Europe, and wartime patriotism begins to give way to increasing intolerance. When news of arrests threatens their future together, they are forced to flee to New York City with the hope that they can avoid the attention of the British and American authorities. Trying to find footing in their new life, Cora and Indra must reckon with divergent ambitions that challenge the foundations of their hasty marriage and their freedom. Okay, it's an extraordinary story of a marriage caught at the intersection of radical politics and everyday life. That sounds interesting to me. That's something I would read. And that's why I was like, yes, I'll take a review copy of this. What is this over here? Oh, I see. Okay. Every chapter heading. I was like, has someone been writing in this book? Because like, every chapter I was like, there's these lines. I was like, seeing all these lines. All right. So this one is coming in July. So I have time yet to get to this one. When is this book coming out? Oh, that's not until August. Let's go to one that's coming out in June. Early June, from Viking Books, we have a novel called The Listeners by Maggie Stiefvater. Stiefvater. Okay. From Viking Books. Let's see. It's coming out June 3rd. January 1942. The Avalon Hotel and Spa offers elegance and sophistication in an increasingly ugly world. Run with precision by June Hudson, the hotel's West Virginia-born and bred general manager, the Avalon is where high society goes to see and be seen, and where the mountain sweet water in the fountains and spas can wash away all your troubles, if only. June was trained by the Guilfoyles, the hotel's aristocratic owners, and she has guided the Avalon skillfully through the first pangs of war. Now, though, the Guilfoyle family heir has made a secret deal with the State Department to fill the hotel with captured Axis diplomats. June must persuade her staff, many of whom have sons and husbands heading to the front lines, to offer luxury to Nazis. With a smile, no less. Oh my gosh. She also must reckon with Tucker Minnick, the FBI agent whose coal tattoo hints at their shared past in the mountains. Oh, all right. And whose search for the diplomat's secrets disrupts the peace June is fighting so hard to maintain. Hers is a balancing act with dangerous consequences. The sweet water beneath the hotel can threaten as well as heal, and only June can manage the springs. As dark alliances and an elusive spy crack the polished veneer of the Avalon, June must calculate the true cost of luxury. This sounds fabulous. Yes. Ooh, so many options. Definitely want to read this one, guys. So this comes out June 3rd. Maggie Stiefvater in Viking Books. Let's go over here. Okay, well, here's another book that's coming out at the end of this month. So it's an April release, April 29th from Other Press. This book is called Blast by Claire Daya. I don't have the pub sheet, so I'll read on the back. In the spring of 1945, so we've got a lot of World War II themed novels here. In the spring of 1945, the war is about to end. The French coast is littered with mines the Nazis hid under the sand to prevent the Allies from landing. In Hyères, we're back on the Côte d'Azur again, German prisoners are forced to clear the beaches. Alongside them, members of the resistance and other French volunteers face the same dangerous task. With no maps of the bomb's locations, they must be guided only by the faint trembling of the sticks they carry to detect them, in terror of being blown up. French and Germans work together, depending on each other. What grim irony. To survive, with the common goal of deactivating the mines one by one. But this is not their only goal. Lucas plans to escape. Saskia, wants to know who betrayed her family. Vincent is looking for Ariane, the woman he loves, and the Germans hold the key to her disappearance. Historian by training and screenwriter by profession, Claire Daya brilliantly portrays the aftermath of a war that won't truly be over until all the mines have been deactivated, showing that, quote, people who think the fighting stops when you lay down your arms are wrong, end quote. Blast captures the beginning of a post-war period in which everyone must rebuild their lives and identities and overcome the obsessions that prevent them from healing. Revenge, mistrust, and guilt, but also solidarity, love, and forgiveness intertwine in this extraordinary novel that readers won't be able to put down until the surprising ending. Again, coming out April 29th, Other Press. Should have the same cover, I imagine. This is just my uncorrected proof. But that sounds really compelling. So, this is a tiny little volume from Other Press that's also coming out. It already did, April 1st, April Fools. Little skinny volume. But this is Lovers of Franz K. by Burhan Sonmez. Translated by Sami Hazel. This is an inventive literary obituary for Kafka. A thriller of love and revenge that brings the Cold War to life. Okay. Amid the student protests in 1960s Europe, Kafka's best friend, Max Brod, becomes a target of their ire. Against the dying writer's wishes, he had published texts that never should have been part of his legacy. After Brod is injured in an attempted assassination, assailant Ferdy Kaplan is captured and questioned by Commissioner Mueller at the West Berlin police station. As his interrogation progresses, through dialogues in the police station, the courtroom, and the prison, Kaplan's background is revealed piece by piece, from the love story between him and his childhood friend Amalia to their shared passion for Kafka, which leads them to join a radical group. But when a shocking discovery is made about the person who ultimately set Brode's attempted murder in motion, Kaplan and Mueller agree to work together to expose the truth. In this gripping, thought-provoking tribute to Kafka, Burhan Sonmez vividly recreates a key period of history when the Berlin Wall divided Europe and women were fighting for freedom and against tradition, adopting Jean Seberg's iconic short haircut from Breathless. More than a typical mystery, Lovers of Franz K. is a brilliant exploration of the value of books and the issues of anti-Semitism, immigration, and violence that recur in Kafka's life and writings. Oh yes, this is a quick read, and I want to read this. You had me at, it's a brilliant exploration of the value of books. I love novels that have that heavy theme of just the life of the mind, and talks about books. You know, I just love it. How long is this, you guys? You're probably wondering. It is not very long at all. It is 133 pages. As you can see, a lot of it is actually like an interrogation. So, not very long at all. I can read this in an afternoon, a sitting. Woo! Lovers of Franz K. This one's out right now from Other Press. All right, let's get into this one. This one's not out until August, but I'll let you know ahead of time. Another World War II type of novel. Just drinking some seltzer water there, folks. Yeah, this comes out August 19th. Oh, it's another imprint. It's that same imprint, Pamela Dorman Books. It's a Viking imprint. That's the other one for that Georgia Hunter book. This is The Lost Baker of Vienna by Sharon Kurtzman. Oh, at least this one has a dual timeline, so it's a little bit. It's not all set in World War II or post-war. It says here, an historical novel inspired by the experiences of the author's own family after the Holocaust. A sweeping saga about survival, loss, love, and the reverberating effects of war. All right, so we start off in 2018. Zoe Rosenzweig is reeling after the loss of her beloved grandfather, a Holocaust survivor. She becomes obsessed with finding out what really happened to her family during the war. Vienna, 1946. Chana Rosenzweig has endured the horrors of war to find herself, her mother, and her younger brother finally free in Vienna. But freedom doesn't look like they'd imagined it would as they struggle to make a living and stay safe. Despite the danger, Chana sneaks out most nights to return to the hotel kitchen where she works as a dishwasher, using the quiet nighttime hours to bake her late father's recipes. Soon, Chana finds herself caught in a dangerous love triangle, torn between the black market dealer who has offered marriage and protection and the apprentice baker who shares her passions. How will Chana balance her love of baking against her family's need for security? The Lost Baker of Vienna affirms the unbreakable bonds of family, shining a light on the courageous spirit of World War II refugees as they battle to survive the overwhelming hardships of a world torn apart. Fabulous. It's about over 400 pages. Sounds like it got some romance in there. If that's your cup of tea, sounds like it might be. The Lost Baker of Vienna might be something you want to put on your radar. But that doesn't come out until August, so I will hang on to that one for a little while. Now this book, I'm an editor, U.S. Reviews editor at Historical Novels Review. It comes out bi-monthly. It is the journal of the Historical Novel Society. And we are covering this book in our next issue, in our May issue. So I'm not writing the review, but another reviewer is. But this is kind of a mixture. Sometimes we cover books that have a little bit of a fantasy element, not a lot. And if they talk about dragons, we don't cover that. But we are covering this one. So it's called A Far Better Thing by H.G. Perry. It is, as you can see, it's set during the Reign of Terror. Let's take a look. Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell meets A Tale of Two Cities in H.G. Perry's A Far Better Thing, a heartrending fantasy of fairy revenge set during the French Revolution. Okay. The fairies stole Sidney Carton as a child and made him a mortal servant of the fairy realm. Now he has a rare opportunity for revenge against the Fae and Charles Darnay, the changeling left in his stead. It will take magic and cunning, cold iron and realm silver to hide his intentions from humans and Fae and bring his plans to fruition. Shuttling between London and Paris during the Reign of Terror, generations of violence begetting violence lead him to a heartbreaking choice in the shadow of the guillotine. I'm smiling because the mention of the Fae, F-A-E, just reminds me of this Canadian show that I was addicted to back in the, gosh, what was it? The 2010s? Lost Girl. You remember that show, Lost Girl? She was a succubus, but she hung out with people who were called, they were Fae, F-A-E. They hung out at this bar. It was a fun show. It was a fun show. I really liked it. I think a lot of good things that come out of Canada, and that was one of them. But A Far Better Thing, quite different than what I normally read. But hey, you know, oh, I should say it's Tor. It's a book. It's the science fiction publisher Tor, so they do fantasy big time too. But you know, it's set during the French Revolution, so I'm kind of intrigued by that. So we'll see. We'll see how this one how this one goes. But it comes out in June. I should mention that to you. Doesn't say what day. But if you like that kind of stuff, this might be it for you. I would do a pyramid of books. I can't do them all at once because there's a lot of them here, as you can see. But I wanted you to know what I've been receiving here at the History Shelf. Lots of historical fiction. I've got some more that are starting to pile up in the receiving room, which I now call the parlor downstairs, which is right next to the front door where all the packages arrive. So, yep, just things are popping off here at the History Shelf. I couldn't be happier. I just wish I had more hours in the day. Wish I didn't need as much sleep as I do. And frankly, I don't really get as much as I probably need. But got to keep grinding. Got to keep grinding, baby, in this world. There's no rest for the weary. No rest. But at least I enjoy what I do. Let me know what you think of some of these titles. What really stood out to you? I love reading comments. I don't get to write as much and reply as much as I would like. But I read and I like... So you know that I've read your comment. I put up a heart. You guys know that I'm there. I'm reading it. And I love knowing which books people are finding more interesting, you know. So it's neat for me to, you know, it's like just empirically, I like to see what you know, lights up the eyes of folks who come to this channel. Anyway, there's Boomer. As you can see, he's my guy. He's my producer saying, time to cut. All right, guys, until next time, thanks for joining me here at the History Shelf. I'll be back soon with another video, probably talking about some used books. I went on a used book buying spree. It wasn't a spree. I picked up some titles I wanted, but I'm going to do a video on those coming up soon. So stay tuned. Thanks for joining me here at the History Shelf. As always, take care, be well, be kind. Bye-bye.